Okay, in order to simplify this one, we can first factor out a radical x, because this is radical 3 times radical x minus radical x. The denominator is radical 6 times radical x minus, or plus rather, radical x. So we can factor out a radical x from the numerator, and we're left with radical 3 minus 1. Radical 3 times radical x is radical 3x. Radical x times negative radical 1 is negative radical x. So factoring out a radical x downstairs, we're left with radical 6 plus 1. The radical x's then cancel out, so we're left with radical 3 minus 1 divided by radical 6 plus 1. So multiplying the top and bottom by the complex conjugate of the denominator here, which is radical 6 minus 1, we end up with, in the numerator, radical 3 times radical 6 is radical 18, minus radical 3 times negative 1 is negative radical 3, negative 1 times radical 6 is negative radical 6, negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1, and in the denominator you have radical 6 squared minus 1 squared. And so what we end up with here is square root of 18 minus the square root of 3 minus the square root of 6 plus 1 divided by 6 minus 1. And 18, the square root of 18 is 9 times 2. Square root of 9 times 2, so we can simplify that a little bit further. So, because that's 3 radical 2 then. 3 radical 2 minus radical 3 minus radical 6 plus 1. And that's all divided by 5. So there we've done it. It's now simplified as much as possible. And we've got the rational number in the denominator. We've rationalized the denominator.